Hello guys, welcome back to FWS Boxing. Good to get back on the channel. Paul Webb, ahead of his show, head of BCB show this week. Yeah, it's a good four fight card at the Park Inn, and yes, good to get you on as always, Paul.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate it. And again, all the work you do to push these smaller events and small shows. As you say, four fight cards. We had a couple of late dropouts this week, which was disappointing, but it does happen. We lost Yusuf Ibrahim's fight and Clinton Baptiste, but we're hoping Yusuf will be back out in June. That's the plan. And then we're just waiting for news on Clinton. So these things can happen. We've had a bit of a bad luck with pullouts on the last few shows, meaning we've been down to 4 or 5 fights when we're hoping to have, 7, 8, 9. But these things happen, and the good thing is the show that's still on is good. Got Macaulay Owen, a really good prospect on there. Nico Michael headlining the show as well, so it should be a good one for those that get down to Northampton.
Yeah, 100% that, mate. Yeah. So, who should we start off with? Should we talk about Yahya Abdullah? He's boxing Stevie Maguire.
Yeah, so Stephen Maguire is someone that we've had on our shows quite a lot.
He
Really
fought
serious character,
Nico.
yeah, good little fighter, really serious character as well. So, yeah, I like him, and I've seen him numerous times. Yahya is Yusuf Ibrahim's brother. So, Yusuf's obviously had a few fights himself. Yahya's making his professional debut on the card. Again, a really good prospect, but someone that we've been waiting for a long time to make his debut. Months ago, I think we were hoping to have him on one of the shows, and it's taken a bit longer, but he looks really good. There's a lot of good talk coming about him. If he's, half as good as his brother, who looks a real prospect, it should be
Hmm.
good. It's a shame that we haven't got them both on. I'd have liked to have had the two on the same event together, but these things happen, and he gets to kind of take centre stage a little bit. As I say, it's his professional debut, and he will be opening up the card, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do against someone in Maguire who, because I said, knows how to do the rounds and is a very
Awkward.
durable fighter.
He's awkward as well, isn't he?
Doesn't take a lot of shots. And he sticks. He's really compact as well. That's the biggest thing. I saw him on a show recently. We had it not the H, the Hangar in Wolverhampton, and I remember just thinking that he doesn't take shots, but he's considering he's a lower weight class. He's so stocky and so strong. Strong thick neck, strong shoulders. He can move well, and as I say, he doesn't take many shots. So he'll give Yaya some rounds, and it'll be interesting. I think from what I hear about him and see about him, he's quite a flashy fighter. Again, his brother's very much of that style as well. So I'm sure he'll be looking to try and unload and get the shots off. But as we said last week, against these sorts of opponents, you've got to be fit enough to do the full 4 rounds and not think you can just push these guys over.
Yeah, exactly that, and you just don't know really what you're going to get from a debutant. And what gym does he train out of?
So he's he's not training with he's training with his brother. He's not at the shoebox gym. From on the top of my head which gym he's at now, but yeah, he trains alongside his brother at a different gym. So the majority of the fighters that we have on in Northampton come from the shoebox, but
Yes,
there are other fighters in the area and other gyms in the area as well. So yeah, I should know that, but no, he's not part of the shoebox gym.
and that's 4 rounds, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, 4 rounds again, like many for the pro debuts. So and he'll be opening up the show, first fight on the card.
Hmm. Yes. Then we've got Dempsey Madden v MJ Hall. That's over 4 rounds, that one. And of course Dempsey, he came back after his defeat. I think it was, yeah. He came back after his defeat with a good win, and he's looking to build on that win against
Yeah,
MJ, who you had on the show last week.
absolutely. MJ, who's just the busiest fighter going, he fought on our show, as you say, last week down in Torquay, and then drove back from Torquay to Birmingham the same night. So drove there in the morning, drove back the same night. He's an absolute machine, MJ is. And Dempsey Madden, really good guy. He works full time. He's as a block paver, really physical job. He's had, as you say, that bad loss, and it was a bad loss, that stoppage. Come back with a win. He's had a little bit of inactivity due to personal reasons, but he's got a really good mindset actually. And I spoke to him the other day, and his dream is to win the Midlands title. He feels like if he wins that, that's a real box ticked. And he's got quite an ambition to go in and speak to kids in schools. He's got two young daughters himself, and he really sees I think he's a big thing about not wasting talent. He thinks he probably wasted some of his in his early 20s when he should have been knuckling down and training hard. He trains at Shoebox as well. And he's in against MJ. Like I said, that will go the 4 rounds unless something very, very surprising happens. But it's a big year for Dempsey. He's 32. He knows he needs to get a move on. He can't be boxing once a year. He needs to be boxing 3, 4 times. And I think Saturday will be the start of what could hopefully be a nice run for him.
So is it a matter of keeping Dempsey quite active this year and hopefully maybe back end of the year? I don't know what your guys' plans is with him, but maybe try and push on for a Midlands title back end of the year or
Yeah, keeping him in the gym is the main thing. Like I said, he works away and travels a lot, and that's always a challenge for a
yeah.
lot of these fighters that aren't full-time professionals. So it's keeping him in the gym, it's keeping him in that routine of training. And if he can do that, as I say, he's with great coaches, he's surrounded by good fighters, and he has got a lot of ability. That loss was really down to inactivity more than anything else,
It was
and
a
not
good
putting anything
fight that
past his
though,
opponent.
that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. And some of these opponents that come in, particularly some of the European opponents, you don't always know a lot about, but they can surprise it, can surprise us. And we've had a few on our shows where the prospects have been stopped inside the distance and we didn't see it coming. But Dempsey, like I say, he's a good guy. He's one of those that I really want to see do well. And hopefully, like I said, he gets that win back in the gym and then back out in a couple of months' time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's 4 rounds. Then you've got Macaulay Owen v Jose Perez. That's 6 rounds. And yeah, I believe Macaulay got ordered for the Midlands, didn't he?
Yeah, so McCauley's in that kind of in between stage where he's fighting prospects and getting not prospects, he's fighting the opponents, the journeyman, and getting the wins. He's probably not quite at the title level yet. If he had had a more active start to the year, I think he would have been. Again, he was one he hasn't boxed since December. He was
Mhm.
unwell after Christmas. He had a long period out of the gym, really bad case of flu that really knocked him back a couple of months. But he's got bags of talent. His last fight in December, he was hoping to get rounds in, and he blew the guy out of there in two. He looked really, really sharp that night. And there's a reason why he got picked up by Queensbury when he did so early into his career. But again, he's one of those. He said to me that he's not 21, 22 years old. He wants to get a shift on now, and against someone like Perez, who has been stopped. There will be opportunities for Macaulay to get him out of there, but I think between him and Shiny, his coach, they really want to get the rounds in and they really want to have that step up because before they go to 10 rounds, 12 rounds, they need to be comfortably making these 6 round distances. And he's got all the ability in the world. He just needs to get a
It's a
good
good
little win
fight for
together.
him. I mean, he's this Jose Perez is coming off a round one knockout in Scotland.
Yeah, big shock that one. I said we've had him on. He fought Gully Power a few weeks back.
Mhm.
Good up, and he did. He took Gully the rounds, and yeah, he's coming off that big shock win. I think it was up in Motherwell, which
Yeah, it was.
again you do get those shock victories. So he's going to be full of confidence. And the good thing is it's not stopped him getting the calls. And it's what I like to see. What I really don't like is when these genuine opponents pick up a win and then suddenly the phone stops ringing. And you notice on BoxRec they've not boxed for 2, 3 months, and
Yeah.
it's wrong. They're there to do a job, and part of that job is to win. And when the opportunity is there, which it was for him last week, he took it. And hopefully that doesn't happen on a Saturday night. I just hope he makes for a good fight, which I think he will.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a 6 rounder that one, and then you've got a 6 rounder in your main event with Nico Michael, and he's boxing Marius over 6 rounds. I'm not going to attempt to say his surname.
I was going to say I was waiting for you to do that. Vinias Kiausis, again, I'll be calling him Marius on the night. It's a lot of points on Scrabble, that surname, but yeah, it's Nico. He he's a really interesting prospect. I mean, he had to have back-to-back fights against the same opponent, which wasn't ideal. I don't think it was something he was particularly looking forward to. But what I think was so good about his performance in February was that if he compared it to the first fight, it was night and day difference. He looked so much more in control. He didn't take any heavy shots, and he's someone that he's probably closer to that title mix because he can strafe super flyweight. I think the Midlands title shot at super fly is possible, or it could stay at upper bantam. I think he's got the ability to strafe a couple of the weight divisions, and he's a small guy in terms of height, but he's a
What
big
weight's this
character.
fight at?
So this will be higher than that. So I think that officially it's going to be 8 stone 7. So he'll be fighting up at sort of same day weighing at bantam. But then if for a title opportunity, I think he would go down to superfly if that is where they choose to go. It's with the Midlands title fight. Sometimes you do see fighters step well out of their weight classes for those opportunities because we're used to seeing them doing the same day weigh-ins where they're having to come in a lot more comfortably. We had it with Ryan Griffiths when he won his fight. You know, he was boxing 2 weight divisions above for the majority of his fights.
Yeah.
As soon as they get to the day before weigh-in, if they're in good shape, they can make that drop down. And as I say, the lower you start, the better. It just gives you ability to work your way up. It's far easier to go up through the weights than it is to come back down. And so if he starts off at Superfly, that will probably be the better option. But we'll see how his body fills out the next few months and see what opportunities that Errol can put his way.
Who's the current Midlands champion at Bantam and Superfly? I believe they're vacant because Ben Norman's got the fly, I believe.
Yeah, so but they are you are right. They are both vacant. There was talk about the middle some of these middle titles. They don't get called particularly. It's not like where the English title and the British where the board will kind of call and look to make a fight. Often it is a case of opportunities, and the problem with those weight classes is there aren't that many fighters in them for a start, particularly at Superfly, and also the fact that just because you're in that weight class, the board and rightly so are quite clever or quite careful with who they match. They don't want 1 round blowouts in their title fights. They will they want there to be more competition and be more competitive, and that's what he'll get. So, but there are fighters, and there's also fighters in the East Midlands as well that could potentially step in. But there's not been any solid talks that I know of. But I think Superfly. If it was for me, if I was sorting it, I would have him down at Superfly.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it's his second main event in a row, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's done really well. He sells a lot of tickets, which is always great. Obviously, that's important.
Yeah.
Puts bums on seats is what we need, particularly when you said you lose a couple of fights on a show. You need someone in there that can boost the numbers up. But as I say, he's got that bit of personality as well. He's a good character, and all these Northampton guys are. They wait they're well supported. The town does turn out for them. But Nico, as I say, he's on that verge now where I think that the step up is right there for him, and hopefully that will happen next.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, mate. And yeah, as always, do you want to say yeah, what time the show starts, what time the doors open and stuff?
Yeah, so we're at the Mercure. It's the Park Inn by Mercure in Northampton. So first bell will be 7:30. As I say, we've got the 4 fights on there: 2 4-rounders, 2 6-rounders. There are still some tickets left. Standards £40, VIPs £80. So pop down on the night, contact the fighters for the last minute tickets. As always, if you can buy from the fighters, that is better. It supports them. If not, then you can drop us an email at info@bcb-promotions and get your tickets directly from there as well. So yeah, really good night. As I say, it's a busy schedule for us. We're back just coming off Torquay, Northampton on Saturday. We've got a couple of weeks break, and then we're back in Wolverhampton and Birmingham Friday and Saturday back to back. So good,
So
busy time.
21st
Good.
and 22nd?
21st and 15th, sorry. So yeah, we're at the
Sorry.
15th Eastside and 21st at the hangar. With more shows to come as well. We don't really do lengthy breaks. We won't have a lot of time off for the summer. There are probably more shows to be announced soon. So keep an eye on our socials for all those announcements.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, did you say what time the first fight
Yep,
starts?
7:30. 7:30 first bell. So probably wrapped up before 10 o'clock, but so everyone can get out on the way. So they can, if you want to go and watch Josh Taylor, Jack Capshaw, then they'll be out in time to watch that.
Mm-hmm. And from me, Paul, thank you for your time as always, and good luck with the show again.
No worries. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, mate. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.